72.
Yeah, and this start to the season, I mean, how have you felt about the offensive line so far?
The first couple games always like you're always trying to figure things out. Sometimes they run things that you weren't prepped for just because it's early in the season. But I felt real good about our O-line so far.
Heading into this season, you faced some skepticism of whether you'd be able to handle some of the SEC. It seemed like you handled Georgia pretty well. Just you personally, how big was that performance and just improving that you could do it?
I mean, more than proving to anybody else, really about proving it to myself. I knew I could do it. I mean, we played Texas last year. They had a really good D-line. Michigan had a really good D-line. And, I mean, I don't think it was any different.
Are you a guy that kind of keeps those things on your shoulder a little bit? Do you kind of keep those, like, you look at those kind of things online and then kind of keep it in the back of your mind maybe?
I try not to, but it's definitely motivation. Like, I mean, it don't really get to me as far as, like, negatively. It's just, like, adding fuel to the fire. I've always been smaller, right? Like, freshman year, college, even in high school, I was small. So, I mean, those type of things, they just do something.
How often do you get maybe a defensive lineman catch you and be like, oh, man, you caught me off guard? Or does it maybe after a game, does that ever happen?
I feel like it happened more my redshirt freshman year. I feel like people didn't really know who I was, and they were just thinking, oh, he weighs like 270 pounds, so it's going to bull rush him, and it don't really work like that all the time.
What are you up to now?
About 285, 290.
What was the biggest, like, thing that you did to kind of, is there a dietary change? Was it just in the weight room? How were you able to put on that weight?
I mean, it was everything. Here we have a cafeteria where we get 3 meals, so I mean it's pretty easy to put on weight here.
What do you think of like Southern food? Has that helped the process at all?
Most definitely.
What's your favorite, I guess, Southern dish?
I say it used to be mac and cheese. Now more yams. I love yams now.
The weight's one thing, but what other ways did you prepare for this upcoming season, maybe compared to years past?
Just same thing I've always been doing, just technique. Focusing a lot on the technique, and the weight definitely helped me, but technique is more important than anything. I'm a firm believer in that.
What did you think of the way that Coach DeBoer kind of reacted to the no call before halftime? He's kind of fired demeanor there.
Yeah, I mean it's good to see him fired up. I feel like we don't get to see that a lot, but I mean it was cool to see him fired up.
You've been around him a little longer than most. Is that maybe the first for him, or do you have another example?
Nah, it's definitely not the first, but it don't happen often. He likes to. He's more of a calm guy. Like he just wants to. If we look at him and he's calm, it's gonna make us calm. So that's definitely what I think he goes for.
What's the most fired up you've seen him?
Oh, definitely that.
Okay.
Or in the pregame speech, he was pretty fired up in the pregame speech.
What was that about? Like, what was the message there?
I mean, it was just go beat the dogs.
What's the big quote
Really
that
what it
stuck
was.
with you from that pregame speech? Is there any line that really kind of hit home?
I think it was just the whole thing. I think it was just seeing him with some fire in his eyes, and he was making sure we were ready to go, and we were.
Have you ever heard him cuss before?
No comment.
The offensive line was able to keep Jalen clean throughout the game. Y'all allowed 0 sacks and was able to help the run game put up over 170 yards worth of rushing. Can you talk about the offensive line performance and what y'all can take from that going on the road versus Vanderbilt, knowing that y'all the number one team, y'all gonna get everybody's best shot, and that's just how it's gonna be the rest of the year.
I mean, yeah, we definitely gonna get everybody's best shot, but I mean, we're always playing to our standard. It don't really matter who's in front of us or what they got going on. We're gonna prep the same. We're gonna do what we do the same, play just as physical. Standard's a standard.
What's the first time you've noticed a rat trap around here? What was that first moment like, or have you noticed them?
So I seen. Yeah, it was really yesterday. Are you talking about the rat traps?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's yesterday. Chat walks in. Y'all know who Chat? Yeah, Chat walks in, throws a bunch of rat traps down. It's a trap game, y'all.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I agree. Like, these are definitely games that. I mean, it's just. I wouldn't even say it's a trap game. I'll just say, I think Vanderbilt's a good team, and I think we're just gonna get everybody's best, just like always. Like I said, standards are standard. We're gonna play a ball.
You guys have played 2 full games with the full starting 5 on the offensive line. What do you think of the way that you guys have played the last couple of games?
Sorry, you said it again.
The starting 5 offensive linemen, the last 2 games have been the same with the starting 5. What do you think of just the way that you guys have been playing the last couple of games?
I think we're playing good, but there's definitely things to clean up. Like there's a couple things just like on the inside, a couple twists that we need to pick up cleaner. and we're working on that in practice. But yeah, definitely room for improvement.
It wasn't your first home game, but it's your first big SEC game at Bryant-Denny. Just what do you think of the fans and the atmosphere there?
Sorry, you said it again, my bad.
The atmosphere at Bryant-Denny is the big one. What was it like being in the first one?
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. You know, that was, I mean, I said that was really our first like real big game, first SEC game, and I mean the atmosphere was insane. It was insane.
What's it like being the number one team? And this is new for you, this first week of being on the number one team. Is there is there a pride? Do you just ignore it? What's it like?
We really just ignore it. We haven't even talked about it, honestly. I mean, it is what it is. We're obviously gonna get everybody the best shot, but I mean, standard's a standard. Just because we're number one don't mean anything right now. It's the beginning.
How much did you lean, going back to the offseason a little bit, how much did you lean from some of the people back home, and how much did they kind of help with your transition?
Oh, definitely a lot. I mean, people here too. Like, people are always checking in on me, making sure I'm straight. But yeah, my people back home, like my family, my friends, always. I mean, they're not out here, but they're always checking up on me and making sure I'm good. The same way people were here.
What's the best piece of advice you received during that time?
Really just hard times don't last. Really, that's the main thing. You know, it don't last forever.
How much has Tyler Booker been an influence on you in terms of just playing kind of with intensity and a little scrappiness to it?
Oh, I mean, he real inspirational to me. I see him at like, what is he, like 320, 330, chasing the ball downfield. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I should be doing that too, and I do. But it's just inspirational to see him, how hard he works, the message that he brings every day. It's never good enough.
Sorry if you've been asked this already, but after such an emotional game on Saturday, how do you avoid an emotional letdown going into a road environment at Vanderbilt?
I mean, like I said before, just keeping the main thing. I mean, the standard's a standard, and we're not gonna let what they do affect us. Or, I mean, I know they had 2 weeks to prepare, but I mean, it's gonna be what we always do.
Last two.
We know that the coaches have been putting out rat traps all across the facility. What other messages have they been giving you guys as you guys prepare to go into Vandy this upcoming week?
I mean, like I said, they just make sure that we know the standard's a standard. We're competing against ourselves more than anything.
Is that it? Thank you.